Hello, wonderful people. So I'm reading people's comments, replying to their emails and stuff, and I found one comment that got me interested, and I wanna write back to the person, but also make a video. So here's the comment, and yeah, there it is. And I'm gonna read it off, practice my reading skills out loud. But there it is. Hi, Kula. I found an interesting thing. Really, I have a friend who suddenly gained the ability to communicate with spirits and receive information from the universe one day. She has been a tarot therapist since then for a few months. She can see through people's past lives, communicate with different entities, etc. And also she says she can know what a person's energy is like when she looks at the people's photos. So basically, the guy shows her the photo of Robin Monroe, and she looks at his photos and feels like she's really scared, and she says that the guy is very scary. And, she says that Robin Monroe is the man that, he's a bad guy, cooperated with the many aunties voluntarily, and so the person who's communicating with this lady is showing her photos of other YouTubers, including me, who are talking about getting out of body and teaching her to do this such thing. And so her comments end up being that people like us are crazy, negative, fools, arrogant, etc. And then, so same guy, shows her the YouTubers' photos of those who teach people on going to the white light, and her comments were pretty positive. So basically, long story short, a person who suddenly gained ability to talk to spirits, communicate, get more abilities, read tarot cards and stuff like that. Whenever she looks at photos, people who are teaching others to get out of body are being called crazy fools, arrogance, or whatever, scary and stuff, cooperating with entities. And people who are teaching others to go to white light are actually getting more positive feedback. Now, what are your thoughts on this whole thing? Do you think she's right? She's making the right decision? Do you think she knows it all? Do you think she's making a thing? Well, my thoughts on the whole thing is you cannot tell that she's right or wrong, but more perception is very relative and depends on, what people see and stuff. But at the same time, when we're told stories about going to white light and all these people who are teaching about for example, not necessarily the aunties, but working with archangels and for the god and religious stuff, it's okay. There are belief systems where such things are good, but at the same time, these can be false beliefs and false teachings when you look at a photo and you perceive the person. But the thing is, the entity is as if it's wolf wearing a sheep's suit and it's pretending, look, I'm a sheep, and when no one sees, and it bites you and stuff So basically, these are the entities. When I'm giving sessions, and if the person is in front of me, I'm able to perceive their entities. And a lot of times, these negative entities try to look like light energy ball and look all positive and try to get close to the person. But the real ones, the real parts of you, is blocking it and not letting it go. So my point is, there are tons of entities teaching false things. And it might sound natural, it might sound very nice. And that's the whole thing about the Archons. When people pass away and they get into this whole thing of reincarnation, or even they pass away and they're in the astral, and now they're gonna meet some other people, their relatives, their entities and stuff. Archons love dressing up as their loved ones. They love putting on a show. And it's all a play, a theater. And they're gonna put this nice show, this all acting stuff, and it's perfect. It's they're very loving, they're very caring. They're gonna tell you a wonderful story about what kind of person you are, about all the things that you could have done, about those little mistakes you've done in your life, and because you're such a wonderful person, you could go back on Earth and fix it and make things better. And just keep it one more time. Try again. Reincarnate and help humanity because you're such a wonderful being and you need to come back on Earth to fix things. And Archons, they can put such a lovely face and they can disguise as anything and anyone. Your loved ones, your pets, any kind of nice creature. They can put a mask and face and look like it and have the energy resonating like it's similar, it's lovely, it's oh look, who's this nice being? It's actually all this creepy shit. So all these entities, they will try to put this whole masquerade to have us to reincarnate, to get into this trap machine that will keep us here in this prison planet again and again and again, so that the soul would with each reincarnation lose parts of his true self and become lesser and lesser and lesser. And I'm not saying that I know it all and I am like great at this information and like, hey, listen to me, I'm best. No, I'm still finding out for myself. But I know that for sure that when I pass away, if there are any entities I meet, I am not talking to them because they might act as my loved ones. They might act as people I know. They might put up the face of my cat and stuff and like try to get my attention. But the thing is, they will do everything they can to make you trust them, to make you feel like, oh, it's safe, it's good, they are here for me. And actually, their job is to lie to you as much as possible, make you feel safe. But it's the whole thing of salesman. If you get a like sleazy salesman who's trying to sell you a car or something, like Richard had his email this morning from Billie Jean Marketing, and he's this wonderful black guy who has great way of selling things. And like he's giving you one price, and like if you cannot like, oh no, I cannot do this, he's gonna give you drop price. But yeah, like it sounds good, like I'm taking it. Boom, next price 300. No, I cannot take this. Boom, $9. Like, oh yes, and like all these options. He's giving you one after another and another and another, and he knows your psychology. He knows the ways to attract people. He knows how to do it, and he has this great way of coming at people and getting them no matter what. And that's just like wonderful person who does this sort of marketing thing. Now we take an Archon. If you were the bad guy, if you yourself were an Archon, what would be the easiest way to get humans? It's not to scare them and trap them. It's to be lovely, kind, caring, gain their trust, and lie your ass off as much as possible, telling a nice story about how you have to come back on Earth and just change it up one more time. Try harder. Do something better. So, like when we read comments like this where people have the ability to perceive, like, look at the photo and perceive all that, it's wonderful. It is great that this person has such an ability, and I believe it would be even better if the person would practice a lot more and just like gain the confidence. But not to say that she's doing it the right thing or not. It's the same thing as channeling. You can write a book, you can do different things, and you can sort of try channeling information. And at the time, it might seem great, it might seem wonderful. Like, hey, this archangel just like wants to guide me. He wants to help me. Like, fuck yeah. And you're all off. You have a wonderful life. But then at the same time, you end up finding out that all these archangels are a part of the archonic system, and they're trying to trap people. And they will play nice. They will be wonderful. They will be helpful. They will give you 90% of the truth information, with 5% of lies, and 5% of deception and stuff. And they will catch you. Because it doesn't take much truth as much as just a little lie, and all of this is going to disappear. It's the same way as like, you can have great YouTube channels, great communities where people will share their stories about like, their my life experiences 20 and back, alien abductions, like different sort of things, and they have real information. They've been there, they've been into those abductions and the whole psyop thing, they've experienced stuff, they have a lot of great information. And all it takes is one outsider, an outsider hijacker, and he comes in and he plays all nice and he shares his story about how it was like, yeah, I had the same experience too, yours is right, and next thing you know, that person is connected to the deep state, and their information was all fake and lies just to make you look bad, and it's all set up. And basically it takes a small person who felt like they're gonna tell you like, yeah, you're right, and your information is truthful, you're saying the truth, and that person is confirming it. But just 5% of lies is all it takes to ruin you, your community, and everything else. And so, in this age of information and technology, we have to be like really careful, and we have to trust ourselves more than anything else. You can look at people, you can look at me, you can look at anyone else, and you can think like, oh, that person is nice or not. Like, Villa is kind of weird. Like, she's working with entities and bad guys. Robin Monroe is crazy because he's working with he's co-oping with the bad guys. Anyone can say that, but the thing is, people who get out of body, for example, me, Robin Monroe, and other people, we tend to meet entities much more often than the people in normal life. Because that's where the real combat is. That's where, if you don't go out to just like one nice astral realm where you can have fun, where you can fly, where you can enjoy experiences, but you go to the 4D, 5D, and like higher realms where the real stuff is happening, where we have galactic wars and stuff, there's the real deal. And of course people will say like, see people like Robert Monroe, me, Rich, or someone else who are able to get out of body, they're connected with entities. Of course we are. We're fighting them. We're like always interacting with them. We're trying to make some changes. And we can get blamed. It doesn't like really matter what people will say as long as I'm truthful to myself and I know what I'm doing. And for me, like, it's really important that, like, yeah, I'm okay with people blaming me. There's a lot of people who like that, and it's fine. Like, they have their own life, they have their own activities. But for me, like, when people have, like, how to say, like, don't judge the book by its cover. Of course, it might feel like me or someone else who get out of body might, like, have negative intentions, negative interactions. We're all, like, into deceiving people and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, meeting aunties, fighting with them, you're basically like, imagine, like, you're going to the war and you're killing lots of bad guys and, like, you're saving your country or whatever. And in this case, we're basically fighting lots of entities and their Archons, reptilians, and saving humanity. And you come back all bloody and like reeking of their entity stinks and whatever. Like, you're like, all like, you're a hero, all like mighty and stuff, but you just like slayed tons of them and you're reeking of their smell and their like ickiness, and now you come here back to rest before your next mission, before you go out and like try to save others again. And people look at your photo and like, bad. Ugh. And of course it's gonna be scary, like you're trying to work and stuff. So it's all common, like, it also like really depends how you look at it. I'm not saying that all the angels are bad and all reptilians are like bad too. uh, there are plenty of angels who are bad and good. Same with reptilians. There are plenty of bad reptilians, but there are plenty of reptilians who are really the opposite of what we have ever heard from them or about them. And there's groups of reptilians who are very loving, who are very passionate, who are much more caring than ever humans were. And it depends. It depends on who you meet. It depends on who you interact with. And it's rare to see such kind of beings out there. And depending where you are, like, this whole prison planet, this whole prison system with the whole grid and connected to all these entities, there's tons of bad things going on. And people might say, like, whoa, we're winning against reptilians and stuff. They're still thriving a lot. They're still doing a lot of things, and it takes a lot of work. You can't say, like, oh, if we went there, they should kill the fleet of entities and spaceships and stuff. We're good. No, there's billions and quintillions more. I just barely touched anything. And, that's just like my reality where I change something, but there's billions of these possibilities. So I know I'm talking all over the place, but I think, like, the most important thing is to question our belief systems and also try not to judge the book by its covers, but like looking deeper into it. Like, you hear about people, about beings and stuff, and like, oh, we hear like reptilians are the worst, they're like really bad. And you will always think that reptilians are really, really bad until you actually get out of body or are in some sort of action in place where you meet reptilians who are super loving. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, there are bad reptilians and good reptilians. And then you go out of body or like you engage in your normal life, you have dreams and stuff, and you have archangels and angels coming over, and some will try to be really loving when they're actually trying to deceive you. But there's also will be realms when these angels will be pure energy beings who will try to make you feel good, who will like recharge you and stuff. There are all kinds of things. It cannot, like, you cannot say like all humans are good or all humans are bad. All guys are after the girls and they're like all sleazy pigs and stuff and they're all about sex, and all girls are like this and that and that. Like, you cannot like blame everyone. There are tons of beings and they're all different, and at the same time, groups. We all gather sort of groups, and it depends on who you interact with. And of course, like, I can't, like, for that person who wrote this sort of comment and tell, like, we YouTubers, those who get our body are all about entities and connected to them were bad, and those who talk about white light or stuff were like good ones. It's all about your perception of reality, and I have my own belief systems and beliefs, and so for me it's truthful. But you don't have to agree to my beliefs. You don't have to like agree to everything I say. Just choose whatever seems right for you. Just pick out information. Like, I have like tons. Okay, I talk for like 14-15 minutes. So from those 15 minutes, you pick out a few sentences that you feel true to yourself, and you go, yeah, okay, I agree with that, and that's okay. And the rest doesn't matter. So just like form your own belief systems and just go with that. And judging the book by its covers is one thing, but like learning from your experiences. That's one of the main things. So here's my thoughts. I'll have to write back to the comment as well, but like just what are your thoughts? Like when you look at the people who have the ability to get out of body, do you think they're good or bad? And there's everyone, even like psychopaths can get out of body and have blast there. So 50-50, but like share your thoughts on the whole topic. Like looking at people's photo, can you do that? Can you look at someone's photo and feel their energy and like their ability, their past and stuff? Can you feel who they are? If you can, share your thoughts, share your comments about it, and then I'm looking forward to reading it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.